Well, he might be the most popular player to transfer out of Ohio State in program history, and in 3 days, Athens native Joe Burrow stands as the heavy favorite to win this year's Heisman Trophy. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us at 5:30. I'm Darlene Hill.
I'm Mark Taylor. We'll have coverage from Athens all week on Burrow's path to New York. Sports director JEROD SMALLEY kicks it off tonight, though, in a chat with Joe's father.
Fascinating family, and you can imagine the excitement they have this week of what all could happen for them. It is possible in a couple weeks Joe's going to try to beat Ohio State for the national championship if they both get there. Wouldn't that be wild? Well, this week we sat down with Joe's dad, Jimmy. He is the former defensive coordinator at Ohio. He retired this year, so he and his wife could follow Joe for his senior year at LSU. And what a ride that's been.
Frequent flyer miles, putting miles on my car, all the above, and the journey continues.
That journey for Joe started 23 years ago in Nebraska, where Jimmy was working on the Nebraska football staff. Joe's older brothers played football for the Huskers, but 15 years ago, Jimmy brought the family to Athens, following Frank Solich to work at Ohio.
What he remembers is Athens, Ohio.
Eventually, Joe was Mr. Football in Ohio, playing in the state championship game for Athens and committing to play for the Buckeyes, a decision in retrospect they still support.
If he had it to do all over again out of high school, that's where he'd go again and see what it led to. But he's happy now, and the decision couldn't have turned out better for him.
Joe first considered a transfer in January of last year, but opted to battle Dwayne Haskins in spring ball. It was then that Burrow made a bold choice.
It was a tough process on us all because, nobody wanted him to leave. We didn't want him to leave, 70 miles away. He loved his teammates there at Ohio State. In his mind, he was good enough to lead Ohio State to a national championship. And really, that was the deciding factor about going to LSU. And again, having a chance to do what he did Saturday, win a conference championship, and then hopefully get a chance to play and win a national championship.
And his Buckeye teammates remain some of his biggest fans, J.T. Barrett most notably, who's been to LSU games wearing that now famous number 9.
He's got everlasting friends with those teammates of his at Ohio State. So there's a bond there that really will never be broken.
Jimmy has joined Joe in Charlotte tonight for the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Joe is the winner of this year's award. That's the best quarterback in the country. He'll join some of his former Ohio State teammates in Orlando tomorrow night for the College Football Award Show.
And then, of course, the big announcement comes on Saturday
night, circa 8:45 or so.
Circa?
Yeah, keep an eye out. And he obviously was a teammate with Chase Young when he was at Ohio State. They know each other very well.
And a lot of Buckeyes are going to be watching that because I know what people say, but then, of course, the judges. The ultimate decision, right?
Well, some like 1,000 of them out there. There's a lot of people. But look, Joe's going to win this thing. He's had an incredible year, and he did it in the SEC, and he did it against elite competition, and he did it with flair. He had some incredible plays during the course of the year, so it's going to be a pretty big night Saturday.
All right, thank you so much. All right, and as we mentioned, NBC4 will have coverage from Athens all week on Burrow's path to New York. Be sure to stay with us on air and online at NBC4i.com.